This episode is brought to you by the Toyota Grand Highlander. Life's journey brings constant change filled with exciting surprises and grand challenges. And with its spaciousness, power, and style, the Toyota Grand Highlander is more than a vehicle. It's your partner in embracing all life throws at you. From the spacious adult-sized third row to seating for up to 8 passengers, the Toyota Grand Highlander is up for every grand challenge. Learn more at toyota.com/Grand Highlander. Toyota, let's go places.
More rewards, more savings. With American Express Business Gold, earn up to $395 back in annual statement credits on eligible purchases at select shipping, food delivery, and retail subscription merchants, including the $155 Walmart Plus monthly membership credit and $240 flexible business credit. Enjoy the benefits of membership with the Amex Business Gold Card. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold Card, built for business by American Express.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Now, if you follow other Pantheon podcasts, you know that there are a lot of music-based podcasts out there. In fact, if you listen to this show, you know for a fact that I also host Spin, Shuffle, Skip, and There Can Only Be One, also proud members of Pantheon. So we're kind of digging into the music vibes on this movie episode by doing a topic called Wish It Was a Real Band. So this means we are covering movies featuring fictional bands. And here to join me, my lovely groupie, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
Groupie or roadie? Yes.
Yes.
Photographer.
Can be both.
Videographer.
Yes. Once you move the amp.
Schlepping gear.
Then you get the bassist.
The designated drinker.
Yeah. We have our roles defined when it comes to going out for gig nights here.
I do hold your drink at the end of the night and let you drink out of a straw.
Now, you get everybody in trouble. So here's what we're talking about. We're talking about films that feature fictional bands, not TV shows. So no Zit Remedy, no Zack Attack, none of those fake bands on TV. This is about fake bands in movies. And we're going to pick 3 movies each. A keep, a watch, and a pass. The keep is one where the movie's awesome and so is the band. The watch is one where, you know what, as an opening act, it's all good. We'll still get into it. And the pass is one, much like an opening DJ at a metal concert, should not be there. You remember that show. We're not naming names. I
was trying to think of the name. It was like Decepticon.
No, it was like no. We're not going to name names. It just it didn't fit. Anyways.
Aww.
Carrie, we're going to start with you. What is your keep film for movies where you wish the band was a real band?
1000%. I am keeping Hardcore Logo.
Okay.
With the Hardcore Logo band.
Yep.
Headed up by Mr. Hugh Dillon of the Headstones.
Right.
Freaking love. You know what? To this day, I still love anything with Hugh Dillon in it.
The Headstones are, and I feel like we're flexing our Canadian muscle here. The Headstones freaking kick ass. If you have not had a chance to listen to the Headstones, you are sorely missing out. But Hardcore
Or better
Logo.
yet, see them live.
Oh, absolutely. See them live.
See them live. The freaking energy. The amount of microphones that they go through because he just throws them and drops them. And I pity the sound guy at a Headstone show, but love.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, so Callum Keith Rennie plays the guitarist in this band. The character name is Billy Talent. And of course, Billy Talent is another fantastic Canadian band that you need to check out. Directed by Bruce McDonald. This is one of those, it's not a mockumentary, but it is kind of a mockumentary. But when you say mockumentary, you instantly have images of like a comedic film. Like this is Spinal Tap in your mind.
Nothing funny about this one.
No, absolutely not. It is very, 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 very Canadian. But the soundtrack just kills on this too. Because aside from songs from quote unquote Hardcore Logo, you also have a song from Teenage Head on here. You got a song from the Ramones. If you're into that like DIY punk kind of vibe, this is the movie for you. And actually won a Genie Award for Best Original Song for the track Who the Hell Do You Think You Are? Yes. Genies.
Oh my God.
They're Canadian, but they count. Did you know though there was actually a Hardcore Logo too?
Yeah, it wasn't as good.
No.
You know what? You really can't. You could not follow up this movie. Like, and I don't think they should have made another one. They should have just left it
Yeah.
where it stayed.
If anything, Hardcore Logo 2 is a nice way to go back and remember the late, great Care Failure, who was the lead singer of Die Mannequin, who was in Hardcore Logo 2. So, again, another, nod to Canadian music. Something to go check out if you're into discovering bands that you may not have listened to from the Great White North.
To be completely honest, I actually haven't seen it, but the original Hardcore Logo just left such an indelible mark. Like it just, wow.
Yeah.
It blew my mind.
I mean, how are you going to do another Hardcore Logo film considering the ending?
I am curious though. I would watch it.
Yeah, because
I would totally watch it.
Die Mannequin was a great band too. Absolutely great band.
Business taxes. Was stressing about all the time and all the money you spent on your taxes.
This is my bill?
Now Business Taxes is a TurboTax small business expert who does your taxes for you and offers year-round advice at no additional cost, so you can keep more money in your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com/business. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service.
So good, so good, so good.
Get ready, because Clear the Rack is on at your Nordstrom Rack store. Now through Monday, find incredible deals on Wear Now styles. On sale for even less at Nordstrom Rack. Take an extra 25% off red tag clearance throughout the store from brands like Adidas, Marc Jacobs, Steve Madden, and more. All sales final. The best stuff goes fast. So shop this sale at Nordstrom Rack today. Please see NordstromRack.com or ask a store associate for details.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Okay. Time for the basic bitch to drop his obvious pick. We're talking Josie and the Pussycats. You knew.
I know.
You knew. You absolutely knew. Now, I will state that it was a toss-up. I was sitting there going, do I be Captain Obvious and go with Josie and the Pussycats? Or do I be slightly less of a Captain Obvious and go with This Is Spinal Tap? I went with Josie and the Pussycats. And I think more so because there's so much that can be said about This Is Spinal Tap. You really can't go wrong with This Is Spinal Tap. There is so much right and wrong at the same time about This Is Spinal Tap.
So excited for the second one.
Oh, hells yes. Hells yes.
I mean, either it's going to be fantastic or it's going to be one of those things where, again, maybe you should have just left it alone and left it, be as awesome as it is. I mean, how do you follow it up?
Hey, in Tap, we trust, okay? But Josie and the Pussycats, I mean, aside from the fact that the soundtrack is absolutely killer.
And your crush on Rachel Lee Cook.
Okay.
Called it.
I have no bones about it.
With the little kitty ears and the leopard print.
Okay.
How could you not?
Okay, do you blame me?
I'm calling you out.
Do you blame me, though?
Well, the blonde was cuter.
Tara Reid?
Yeah.
No. Keep in mind, too, you had Rosario Dawson on bass. So think about this band as basically like the trifecta of hotness on celluloid here. But before I go down that road, let me dig out of this hole.
You're blushing. It's cute.
Okay.
Aw.
Okay, this is where the Rachel Lee Cook crush started. Okay, we'll get it out there. We'll put it out. It's all good. The soundtrack, though. The soundtrack.
Yes.
With the one and only
small words.
Kay Hanley from Letters to Cleo doing the singing voice of Rachel Lee Cook. Best of both worlds in this. Letters to Cleo are so underrated. One of the best poppy rock sounding bands that came out of the 90s. Some great songs from them. But the funny thing is, this movie is so freaking meta and really makes fun of the entire kind of manufactured boy band, everything that basically was MTV at the time, especially with the Du Jour, the boy band that was basically killed off into plane crash because they were no longer selling records. Enter Josie and the Pussycats. Parker Posey as the villain in this just dines on the scenery, brings her knife, brings her fork, and dines on the scenery every time she's on the screen. But it's fun. That's the thing. It's campy as hell. It takes the idea of Josie and the Pussycats, throws in that MTV-ness in it in a way that actually works. And it shouldn't work, but it works so well. And I think the soundtrack plays a lot. If the songs sucked, this movie it might be my pass. But the soundtrack is one of the best fake band soundtracks of all time. Personal opinion, hands down. You can't tell me the movie wasn't fun.
It was fun.
I'm going with another basic bitch move for my watch pick. And our good friend Brian Colburn over at My Weekly Mixtape could already feel this one coming. His ears are probably burning as we are recording this right now. I'm going with That Thing You Do, which is one of his favorite movies of all time. And I would not be allowed on his show anymore if I didn't pick this movie. But let's think about this. We're talking about a film that basically used one song as the premise for an entire plot, and yet it didn't get annoying to hear because there were different kind of variations on the song. You had the song before Guy came in and became the drummer of the the Wonders, and then throws that drum line behind it and it becomes a hit, and surprisingly, the rest of the soundtrack is really good too. The other songs from the Wonders that were written for the film. Tom Hanks did a fantastic job of directing and producing this film. And tell me, like, maybe it's just me. Tom Everett Scott, who played Guy, the drummer. Tell me he wasn't giving the most Tom Hanks 80s-esque performance that could possibly happen.
You know what? It was a fun movie. And I mean, I'm a big fan of Tom Hanks. Really, anything that he does. He's just so great.
Yeah.
And so likable. Like incredibly likable.
It's really hard to imagine that Jonathan Skates, the guy who played the singer of the Wonders, would then go on to be in Roadhouse 2.
Well, I do want to backpedal though. Tom Hanks wasn't really likable in the Elvis movie.
No. But he was extraordinarily likable in this.
Or The Circle, actually.
I like The Circle.
Okay, but Tom Hanks was not likable.
He was likable enough in The Circle. I mean, it was fake likable, but it was still it wasn't a really, really bad accented Tom Hanks. So that's what was Elvis.
No, but you know what? He is such a good actor that he made himself unlikable.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a good thing.
And yes, Steve Zahn on guitar for the Wonders one of the few Steve Zahn performances I enjoyed because I still can't forgive him from Sahara. I carry these bad casting choices around like an albatross on my soul. I have nothing against Steve Zahn. I just have something against Steve Zahn in Sahara. So over to you, your watch pick for movies with bands that you wish were real.
My watch pick is the fake band Black Gammon from The Sound of Metal.
Huh.
Yeah. Remember?
I do remember, yeah.
This movie just left such a place in my heart. Like, in this case, the movie is about a drummer that starts to lose his hearing. And when you think about the importance, obviously, of sound and keeping beat as a drummer, like how heartbreaking this story was, because, he starts to lose his hearing and eventually fully loses like that element of his sense of hearing. And just, it's so sad.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is that this band that Riz Ahmed is part of, it's a 2-person band with himself and like an unrecognizable Olivia Cooke, who was also in Ready Player One and House of the Dragon, like just disappeared into the role she did.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
that was his life. Like, when you think about it, his girlfriend was in the band with him, and then obviously the band had to fold,
mm-hmm.
right? Or he couldn't play anymore. Like, incredibly heart-wrenching, but yet such a great, great, great story.
I think it's one of those things where you take a look at where the band is at this point in their career. They're living in this basically camper van, if you will. This is their life. This is the only way that they are. Like, that's, it's a very, very, very similar to a hardcore logo, where they're basically living, gig to gig, basically. And to have that completely collapse in on him because he can no longer hear. And the film actually did win at the Oscars that year for Best Sound and Best Film Editing, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
It's haunting the way it's filmed. It's very stark, and don't watch this late at night, because the sound design will have you, like, if you're tired while you're watching this, you're going to start nodding in and out, because it is a very sparse soundscape that they created for this. But I think that's exactly what this film needed.
Exactly what they had to do. Like, there's that moment where he loses his sense of hearing and everything just goes silent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whoa, like it's just so, it just hits you in the feels. Even when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh my God, like, can you imagine, like, you're surrounded by a wall of sound and you should be hearing at that level, and then it just goes silent. And it was like, like, heartbreaking.
Interestingly enough, and I want to put this out there, originally, this film was supposed to star Matthias Schoenaerts and Dakota Johnson.
Okay.
I think the change worked well for this. Riz Ahmed, I mean, as yes, I'm a Star Wars geek and Riz Ahmed is awesome, but I think he gave such a very vulnerable performance in this. But now that we have two very DIY punk-esque kind of bands, I'm now curious to what your pass film is.
Well, you're actually going to be shocked at this, because I have to sadly take a pass on a movie that I waited for my entire life, literally, as a young girl growing up watching the Gem and the Holograms animated series. That was what I wanted from the live action Gem movie. And that's not what they delivered. What they delivered was a lovely story. In my mind, it was kind of, more along the lines of like Undiscovered, or like something, about a band that just has their challenges and rises to fame. And the rival band with the Misfits. You know what? It wasn't the multicolored, big hair, like, spectacle that I wanted. And it was a nice story, but it wasn't what my teenage heart, or my 5-year-old heart, grew up to want.
Yeah, it's one of the things where I think had this film been titled anything but Gem and the Holograms, I think the film would have done well enough. But you put the weight of Gem and the Holograms on the film.
Yeah, and it did not deliver.
And it wasn't that story.
Yeah.
It really wasn't that story. And the thing is, you had Juliette Lewis in this as Erica Raymond, the gender swap version of Eric Raymond. And it felt like Juliette Lewis was almost giving like a Parker Posey-esque kind of performance from Josie and the Pussycats in a film that was leaning more YA melodrama rather than, what Josie and the Pussycats was, which was almost like a wink and a nod kind of parody of what the original was.
Right. And that's exactly what I had hoped for, is more of like bringing those animated, like, classic characterizations of Gem and the holograms and the big hair and the costumes and the, the glowing star earrings, like, bring it to life. And it just didn't, it came short.
Yeah.
It was a lovely story. I didn't hate it, but I'm passing on it because it did not deliver to my hopes and expectations.
I get that. You wanted less Riverdale and more Josie. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to enact a barrier between our microphones because I have a feeling. That I'm going to have angry laser eyes shooting at me when I mention my past pick. So
here we go.
If, dear listeners, there are no other episodes after this one, it has been lovely knowing you. Carrie will know where the body is buried because she probably buried it herself. But I am passing on the story of the Soggy Bottom Boys. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Oh, you know what's funny? When you mentioned, like, they can't carry the entire movie with one song, that was the movie I was thinking. Oh.
Yeah.
No, we're cool. We're cool.
We're cool? Okay. Because I know you like that film.
I love that film. I freaking love that film.
But when the lasting image is George Clooney going, I'm a Dippy Dan man. No. Just no. And part of the problem, too, is this.
It was so fun.
Part of the problem is this. I fully appreciate that George Clooney may not have a singing voice, and I understand that someone else is doing the singing. I get it. I understand. I know how movies work, okay? I'm only a part-time idiot. But the lip-syncing performance by George Clooney in this is so over the top and so goofy that I cannot take this film with any grain of seriousness whatsoever.
But that was the beauty of it.
No,
it was
it
not
wasn't.
meant to be taken seriously. Oh my God. It was literally like Curly, Larry, and Moe, Prison Break style, becoming like the next biggest boy band. But I literally just summed up the movie.
In a weird kind of way, yes. Brought to you by Dippy Dan Hair Gel.
Oh, come on. Why the hate?
Because I found it boring.
It was meant to be funny.
But it wasn't, though.
I loved it.
I know you did.
I found it funny.
It's because you like George Clooney. You're going to call me out for my Rachel Lee Cook. I'm going to call you out for your George Clooney here.
Oh.
Yeah, I did. I went there.
You did.
I know.
You're not wrong.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to hold
He's
it against
suave.
you.
He's a Dippy Dan man.
I know. I like pussycat ears and you like Dippy Dan. I understand. It's all good. But the song itself is okay. Man of Constant Sorrow. It's okay. But unlike that thing you do, this song grated on my nerves through the whole thing. And again, I'm also not like that old time country bluegrass style kind of music aficionado.
Yeah, but John Goodman as the record producer.
John
holy
Goodman
hell,
can do no wrong. John Goodman
he
is
was
a goddamn
so perfect.
saint.
I love this movie. But we're cool. We're still cool.
Give me Fargo Coen Brothers and I'm with you. Give me Oh Brother, Where Art Thou Coen Brothers and I'll be like, oh, nap time, where art thou? Because I'm going to fall asleep during it. I'm sorry. I recognize that apparently I have horrible taste in films, judging by the fact that Josie and the Pussycats is a film that does qualify and it's my keep, and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou doesn't qualify and it's my pass. I'm broken. This is what you signed up for when you hit play on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. Dip it, Dan, man. Carrie, please remind our listeners what your keep, watch, and pass picks are from movies where you wish the band was real.
I am keeping Hardcore Logo, watching The Sound of Metal, and passing on Gem.
And for me, I am keeping Josie and the Pussycats. I am watching That Thing You Do. And I am passing on Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Carrie, thank you so much for this. And to you, our dear listeners, well, you guys know the drill. If there's a topic that you want us to cover on Keep, Watch, Pass, or a movie that you want us to cover on It's Not That Bad, hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you check out our other shows. There Can Only Be One and Spin, Shuffle, Skip, and the occasional 3 times a year, but definitely a lot of raging, grading on a curve. Carrie, thank you. And to you, our dear listeners, thank you so much. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Keep, Watch, Pass on the It's Not That Bad podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.